from Russian occupation. The leaders of China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Turkey, Iran and other Eurasian countries are gathered in Samarkand, Uzbekistan for a major summit. King Charles III is visiting Wales on Friday as his tour of the UK as new monarch continues. China's economy is showing signs of recovery as key data for August all beat expectations. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting from Windsor.
And good morning. Here we go. It's KCHW 102.7. Just two today. Count them two. You've got Scott and Michelle taking you into your weekend on a Friday. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am. I'm awake and I'm up, and I woke up way too early. I've been cleaning house all morning, believe it or not. Something I rarely do. And I'm not even having company.
Oh, goodness. Extra energy.
Yeah.
You know, I fell asleep so early last night. Like, I was laying in bed and dozing off, and I was like, I don't even, what time is it? You know, to make sure my alarms and everything are set. And I looked at the clock. It was 7:30. I was like, oh, I've gotten so old. Oh, but really, like, a nice, good, long night's sleep, and I feel great today. I'm kind of upset that Philip's not with us today because I really wanted to smack him around at some trivia today.
Oh, ow. Well, maybe we'll do it. We can do it. Me and Alan were alone yesterday. We were missing Chuck. So he did today the day's trivia, and I went and got some old trivia to throw at him. So we'll do the same thing. How's that?
All right. Sounds good.
And I'm horrible at trivia, so it'll make you feel really good. That's why I always host it, is because I'm not that smart. That way I can look smart.
This whole time you've been making me feel dumb for no reason.
Yeah, it's because I'm the dummy. See, you didn't even catch on.
It's not fair.
I shouldn't have told you. All right, weather-wise today, calm, mellow weekend for you guys. 71 in Chihuahua, partly to mostly cloudy today with some winds to 10 miles per hour, 43 and some clouds tonight. For your weekend, Saturday, 70 and 48, partly cloudy. Just a 5% chance of rain both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is 77 and 46, but has mostly cloudy skies. Back to work Monday, you got a 10% chance of rain, mostly sunny skies, and a high of 74. And it looks like you're going to spend next week in the low to mid 70s. And then if the 10-day forecast holds, you'll jump back up into the 80s next weekend.
Very good, very good.
Maybe your last chance for a little summer fun of camping and stuff with the kids or something like that. So be prepared to take advantage of it. Let's see. Other than weather news headlines, I was so worried with the news coming out about the potential railroad strike because the country is already in such dire straits. To add another supply chain problem into the mix was going to be really bad. But it looks like they made some progress yesterday. And they've got a 30-day cooling off period. And it kind of looks on the outside like maybe everybody got pretty much what they wanted. So hopefully no railroad strike. That's the last thing we needed right now.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's see. News headlines. This one caught my eye. It says Illinois to become the first state to pass the purge law. I was like, I've seen one of those movies. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're kind of scary.
I have.
All right. Illinois passing a law that would make history, some say at least. Illinois is looking to be the first state in the U.S. to abolish cash bail. And the consequences of passing such a law have many believing that the state could mirror the movie The Purge. In the film, citizens are given 24 hours to commit all the crimes they want. On January 1st, 2023, the SAFE-T Act will commence in the state of Illinois. The act will get rid of cash bail system entirely. The name SAFE with a T is an acronym, of course, for safety, accountability, fairness, and equity today. Those that instated the act believe it will reduce arrests and limit those put away based on the crime. I don't know if this sounds good or not. All right. It says non-detainable offenses. There are 12 non-detainable offenses where the new law would end cash bail. The law includes second-degree murder, arson, drug-induced homicide, robbery, kidnapping, aggravated battery, burglary, intimidation, aggravated driving under the influence, fleeing and eluding an officer, drug offenses, and threatening a public official. That is the 12 non-detainable offenses. This doesn't even make sense.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So they're going to let these people do things and not hold them in jail. You can kidnap someone and not go to jail.
Second-degree murder.
Yeah,
and
that's
you won't
crazy.
have to post bail. You can just go out, get out until your trial.
I don't think so. Sorry, I don't think so. That's a real good way. Like, you kill someone, whether, vehicular manslaughter, intended or unintended, or second-degree murder, and you just let them walk out of the courtroom, they're going to die.
The only benefit I can see to this is maybe all the criminals will move to Illinois.
Well, there's that. But seriously, there's always so much hurt and anger around those kinds of crimes. Like, you let that person walk out of that courtroom without taking them to jail until their trial, someone's going to try to hurt them.
Yes. And maybe rightfully so at times. So I can see where they're correlating this to the movie. State Attorney General Robert Berlin said, "I'm very concerned about an increase in violent crime. But again, I do want to stress that there is time to fix this law. And the state's attorneys are working very hard, as we have been for the last year and a half, to fix this law. It's very fixable, where we can still eliminate cash bail, but make sure the right people are in custody and everybody else who's not a danger gets out. The act would allow criminals a pre-trial release for the crimes listed that I mentioned, and if prosecutors fail to show a clear and convincing evidence that the alleged could be a threat to a specific individual, well, then unfortunately the consequences of the act make an impact on how fast arrested criminals will be dealt with, and that will get back out on the streets after arrested. So very, very scary in Illinois. This is
interesting to me. Are the jails so full?
I think they are, because we have arrested so many people and locked them up there on, basic drug charges. And I think arresting people for drug charges and putting them in prison burdens the system, and it doesn't help them get drug free, because as statistics show, they get out and they go right back to it.
Can I just kind of go back then to, are any of those offenses drug charges? So they're just going to keep putting those people in jail, but the second-degree murder people, they can go. They can go back out.
No, the drug offenses was on the list.
Oh, it was? Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, because that makes no sense otherwise. And who wrote this bill? Yeah,
kidnapping, second-degree murder, arson, aggravated battery, burglary, okay. As long as it's non-violent, gun wasn't used. Intimidation, okay. Driving under the influence, I don't know. I'm iffy on that one. Fleeing and eluding, you deserve to go to jail.
Yeah, because, you're going to flee. So you ran away, but because you ran away, you got trial, but we're going to let you go until then.
So hopefully no states follow that. But like you said, when somebody does that, they've kidnapped somebody, or some of these are very violent crimes that people are, of course, alleged to have committed, and to set them out on the street, I don't think that's going to work out very well for them. So, all right, kind of scary. And it gets scarier.
It sounds to me like somebody in a powerful position is like, let's just see what this does. Like they're playing a game or something. It's ridiculous.
And I get the next story that has been really heating up over the past few days. I get that Texas and Florida have problems with migrants, but using humans to make a point and shipping them across the country to another state and a potential area where there are no services for them. I mean, here they're really trying to make a point. Martha's Vineyard, a place for the rich. DeSantis, the governor of Florida, sent busloads of migrants to Martha's Vineyard. Said they were told they were going to Boston and quickly could find work there, but ended up in Martha's Vineyard. They're just messing with the federal government, and it's sad. And I think it's both speaks to, we see them on the news, but it speaks to the type of person both of those governors are, that they would use humans
Well,
like this. And I said it makes them look very racist as well, because they don't care about these particular groups. Some of them aren't just from Mexico; they're from other South American countries as well. But no humanity there whatsoever.
Well, I think it also kind of plays to the effect of like the fact that the control on the border has been non-existent for all of Biden's presidency, and the southern states are the ones that have to really pay the immediate price of that. So they have all these people flooding in at the border where there's supposed to be controls, and they're just not there, and they're like, okay, well, what are we supposed to do with your mistake? And I think it plays into a little bit of accountability to the people that are more wealthy, that don't typically have to worry about what's going to happen in their neighborhood.
In their face now.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, okay, so you allowed this to happen, all of you that sit up on your ivory towers, and you don't have to live in the real world with the rest of us. Well, this is what the real world is going through, so take a look at it, because here it is on your front porch now.
But it's sad they're using people to make that point. Well, I get the point needs to be made, but the fact that they're using, people to make that point. But I guess they felt like it's the only way people are going to look at it.
Well, yeah,
and listen. But it's sad that innocent people are in the middle of that, expected to go to Boston and find jobs, and now they're trapped in Martha's Vineyard with nowhere to stay, no food.
I agree that is definitely a very sad
consequence,
reality of it, but at the same time, like, that neighborhood clearly has the resources to do something about that, and then we have, wasn't it just not that long ago where the mayor or governor or whoever in New York was all upset because busloads of these people were showing up in New York?
Texas was doing that.
And New York too. They had nowhere to put them, but they're like kind of telling the people of the town, well, it's here and you're going to have to deal with it now. It's kind of being thrust upon all other areas of our society. So, I think that it's absolutely appropriate that, okay, cool, you can help too.
Well, they're going to have to. They don't have a choice now.
Right.
So, the other thing that when you talk about our southern border that doesn't make sense to me is our northern border with Canada. Used to go up to Canada all the time as a kid. And that border is very secured. Of course, we don't have the problems that we do with the southern border. It's also very well watched with satellites. I mean, totally monitored 100% of the time. But we don't do that down south. And it really befuddles me. And you go to Canada now, it looks like we've prepared for World War III. All the military that's on the border with Canada, but yet we're not doing anything down. It doesn't.
That's because if you're in Canada's perspective, looking at America, we're Mexico. And they're like, nope.
But it's our military on our side. That's all. It's not the Canadian military that's all ramped up. It's ours. Like, Canada's about to invade us, or we're going to war with them. And I know after 9/11, they were saying some people came through the Canadian border, so it needed to be watched closer and that kind of stuff as far as terrorism. But it's funny that all that is going on up north, and down south it apparently seems like a free for all. So.
Oh, well, and it's they don't want to acknowledge a lot of the things that are going on at the southern border. Like groups of children that are being found alone in the desert, dropped off by who knows who. There's just a lot of really messed up things going on.
I think sometimes we forget we were all migrants
right.
at one point, or come from migrants, but definitely there needs to be some controls there. And our government has failed at it miserably, like we found out over the past, 10 years. They fail pretty much at everything, everything. And I always go back to it. It was a facade, just like we think we're safe. And then we find out all of our drugs are made in China. I still can't let that one go. And the fact that it hasn't changed, I can't let that go either.
Yeah, I agree. It begs the question, like, where in history did we actually have our last real president?
Well, and I thought the Illuminati was in charge, and apparently they're not either. Oh, okay.
Too many secret societies. Maybe they're battling over control behind the scenes.
Nobody's driving the boat. It's just wandering aimlessly.
They dropped anchor somewhere.
Somewhere. Nobody knows. All right. Let's see. I think those were the end of the few headlines, though. If you, I know in Stevens County it's not very balanced, but if you are a Democrat, one of the new polls out that said they believe it's due to the Supreme Court and abortion rules, and even The one senator, Lindsey Graham, coming out and saying he was going to push a bill that would ban abortion in all 50 states. It says those kind of activities due to the latest poll, that it looks like Democrats, who are expected to fail miserably during the midterm elections, now are looking like they're, latest polls, that they're going to do really, really well, and maybe will. Originally Republicans were expected to take the House and Senate, and I guess pollsters are saying that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. So, but when you got loose cannons, you should probably talk to them about being quiet, because they end up hurting you.
All I'm saying is I really hope that they figure out how to control Pelosi's eyebrows before they get out of control.
I have the same problem as I get older. I keep forgetting to shave my eyebrows, and my girls will actually point it out to me. Dad, it's time to shave the eyebrows. But maybe she doesn't have kids that look out for her like that.
I'm not sure what's going on. They're like changing location on her face.
Well, we kind of paint those on, I think, sometimes. Let's not pick on poor Nancy.
All right, moving right along.
Yes, and I've got a new nonprofit I want to help out. It's called Save the Millionaires.
They're struggling. They're
struggling. They're struggling
to keep a grip on reality.
How about something maybe a little funner, some community events? I know there's probably not all that many left, but it is Friday. That means you have a Chihuahua Farmers Market in the city park, starting up at 11 and running until 3:30 today. Let's see. For Saturday, we had, don't we have a couple events coming up on this Saturday?
We
do. It's the Romp and Roar at the golf course, and that goes from 8 to 5. You should be signed up for that already. It's the Lions Club if you're doing that. If not, you better hurry. And then the Film and Television Informational Seminar put on by Joel Wilczynski from 1 to 4. If you want to find out what's going on in Washington, particularly the greater Spokane area for film and TV, and how you could get involved with that kind of stuff, you want to check out that seminar from 1 to 4 at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts. Yeah. Did you have anything else on your list coming around this weekend?
No, not this weekend, but I am really excited about that film thing. I'm taking my daughter to, because she's been really interested in getting involved in that for the last couple of years, and so I'm going to take her. It's going to be fun.
Fun stuff. I know. I wish I was there. I would totally go check it out. All right. So that is your events so far for this weekend. We will move on to bits and breaks this morning. Don't forget, I did send one to your inbox if we need some extra fill there today. And I'm sorry, I'm having problems with my computer. It won't work at all. All right, bits and breaks for today. For an idea of how old the Earth is, you can look at a clock. So when we hear that humans have walked the earth for so many thousands of years, it seems like a long time. Or when a museum display tells us a dinosaur lived so many millions of years ago, we try to wrap our minds around that, and it can be very difficult. So scientists recently have been using a 24-hour clock to represent and help us better understand how old the earth, dinosaurs, and humans are. So if you look at your clock, if the age of the earth were a 24-hour clock, then from midnight to 3 a.m., there would be nothing but meteorite bombardment. Exactly. The origin of life would happen around 4 a.m., which is generally when I get up to go to the bathroom. But it's not life as we think of it. In fact, sexual reproduction doesn't occur until about 6 in the evening. Jellyfish appear around 8:48 p.m. Land plants come into the picture at 9:52 p.m. So we've almost filled up that 24-hour clock, haven't we? We finally see dinosaurs at 10:56, and it's not until 11:58 and 43 seconds that humans make an appearance.
Wow,
the lifespan was a 24-hour clock.
We're just babies.
Yes, we haven't been around very long at all, and not expecting to last that long either.
Yes. When they say that life is like a blink of the eye,
yes,
they're not kidding.
Yeah. All right. How about, since you're a mom, thoughts about kids with Michelle Williams?
Okay. Yes, I think these are stunningly accurate pieces of advice.
Okay.
Shouting to make your children obey is like using the car horn to steer your car, and you get about the same results. true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if, like, you're yelling at them to be quiet. Tell me how
Doesn't
that
work.
works. Make that make sense. Okay.
Like telling water it's not wet.
Right.
Yeah.
But have you had that argument? Because I've had that argument with my children. Water's not wet, Mom. Water makes other things wet. So water itself is water. It cannot be wet. And I'm like, I feel like your science is really wrong. Anyway, moving along. That makes my head hurt. The smartest advice on raising children is to enjoy them while they are still on your side.
Mm-hmm. When they get to teens, it can be very battleistic.
They go crazy. They go crazy. Yeah, I think it's all the hormones. Like, just a traffic jam of I don't get it in their head. Yeah. And because you understand what's going on, you're automatically the enemy.
And what's the hormone that makes them think they know it all?
I don't know.
Yeah, we need to find a cure for that one.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Grandparents are similar to a piece of string, handy to have around and easily wrapped around the fingers of grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. My mom used to give my daughter ice cream when she got home from school because I worked afternoons. And then she would get second ice cream after dinner. And I'd be like, really? Second ice cream? You're trying to give her diabetes?
Right. Did you ever get ice cream?
Yeah, I did. You know, I got
every day?
treats. Yeah, I was pretty spoiled. If I said I didn't want to eat dinner, I could go sit on the couch with a bag of potato chips and watch TV.
Yeah, that would never fly in my house.
It wasn't good. No. If you're doing that to your kids right now, stop.
Yeah.
Didn't work out for me so well.
Good. It's not good. All right. There are 3 ways to get something done. Do it yourself, hire someone to do it, or forbid your children to do it.
Reverse psychology. I like it.
That only works sometimes these days. They've caught on. Cleaning your house while your kids are home is like trying to shovel the driveway during a snowstorm. That is true. That is very true. There are only 2 things a child will share willingly: communicable diseases and his mother's age.
Oh,
also true. Also true. Adolescence is the age at which children stop asking questions because they know all the answers.
Yes.
And
I was like 10-year-old talk or like 9-year-old talk, especially from girls. It's like, and then we did this and like, wow. And then like, they always put the word like in there, like every few words. It's a troubling phase.
Some of them don't grow out of it.
Like, I know.
All right. Last but not least, an alarm clock is a device for awakening people who don't have small children.
Don't need that when you got kids. Somebody's going to wake you up, especially on Saturday and Sunday.
Unless it's a school day, and then you have to like literally pry them out of bed. But all summer long, 4 a.m., they're up and ready to go.
All right. If all that talk stressed you out about your kids, maybe something that won't stress you out quite as bad. Wacky but true taser headlines.
Yes.
Okay. These are actual headlines about tasers, and they'll make you smile. Put a smile on your face. Grandma and pregnant mom tasered at party. Police get a shock when new taser briefly ignites suspect.
Oh my gosh. Is it a taser? Is it a flamethrower? We don't know.
This one's kind of confusing. Cop tasers unarmed legless man twice.
He's got no arms and no legs.
No legs, yeah.
Why did he need to tase him? It doesn't seem like he's going to move very fast.
Yeah. You couldn't catch him?
Right?
All right. Cops use taser to stop 300-pound man from stealing soda.
Just one taser?
Just one. It's not fair.
Sorry, that wasn't nice.
All right. Cops taser man for sitting in wrong seat at baseball game.
That seems a little extreme.
Wyoming police used taser on 76-year-old driving an antique tractor in the parade. Grandpa?
Why? Was he going to run over a pony?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
It's out of control on his tractor. All right. Cops taser waffle waiter. We once had a during James Dean days had a cruise in downtown where somebody got a DWI right there at the cruising strip, like the parade of cars. Somebody got a DWI right there one time. They deserved it, but that was kind of exciting.
Did they get tased?
No tasing. No. Mississippi police used taser handcuffs on wayward emu. Cuffed his little wings together. Escaped bull topples octogenarian and gets tasered. Which one?
Right. Oh my god.
Police zap schizophrenic billy goat 3 times. 3 times.
They had to get him for all of his personalities.
And mom of the year right here. A woman uses baby to shield her from cops' taser.
I hope they tased her twice.
Oh, I wonder if there's more to that story, like it wasn't her baby.
Oh my gosh.
All right, this is starting to make me feel bad again. All right. Newlyweds tasered at reception, spending wedding night in jail. Aww. I hope they got the same cell.
That's one heck of a honeymoon.
Yeah, they should. I hope they put them. They should put them in the same cell, shouldn't they? All right. Cops taser 14-year-old who wouldn't drop his Game Boy. All right, and then this one, I'm just gonna preface it. It wasn't me. Cop shocks naked and greased student with a taser.
You know, I feel like I would have had a blast if I went to like a formal college. Stories like this, I'm just like, I feel like I missed out.
I could have done that. It
could have been me.
All right. It's not too late, Michelle. Go ahead. Live out your dreams.
Yes.
Go streaking.
We're going streaking. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Do it another time so it doesn't reflect poorly on the radio station. Right. And the last one's great grandma dared a cop to taser, so he did. Ouch. Do you have the one I sent you handy?
I do.
All right.
You know, I just want to, all this stuff is making me remember the last job that I had. I worked a hotel downtown Spokane, and on the very first night, I was actually moving my stuff into the manager's apartment because it was an on-site job. The very first night, and the assistant manager is still running the place. There's a big commotion outside, and I'm like moving a dresser, and I'm like, what is going on? I run outside, and there is like 4 cops in the parking lot tasing a guy right in front of my bedroom window. And I'm like, oh, great.
Was he naked?
No, thank goodness. He was really drunk, though. And I'm just like, what have I done? What am I getting myself into?
I moved into a neighborhood like that once. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the guy actually came back the next day because apparently he got tased so hard that he lost like 3 dreads. He was looking for his dreadlocks in the parking lot.
So they were fake dreadlocks.
They must have been. They came off rather easily.
Yeah, because if they're real, I don't think you can just put them back. I don't know.
I've seen what electricity can do to hair. Maybe just like popcorn or something. I don't know. Anyway, so moving right along to things you didn't know yesterday.
With Michelle Williams.
All right. It takes between 8 and 9 minutes for light to get from the sun to the earth. So by the time your sunlight gets to you, it's already stale.
Been used.
Yeah. All right. The first soup was made from hippo meat.
Oh, we heard that one yesterday. Oh, gross.
Yeah. That's greasy.
Kind of good. Who knows?
Greasy.
I
don't know.
Like
it's like a water cow.
It is. So it should be delicious.
Does it taste like cow or does it taste like frogs? I don't know. All right. The average adult produces about a half liter of flatulent gases per day, resulting in about 14 occurrence of flatulent gas per day.
Wow.
I must be an overachiever.
You know, a couple of these were on, not all of them I can see, but a couple of these were on yesterday. And I think it was Alan who said those were rookie numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Alan and I, flatulation club over here.
Yeah.
All right. Tarantulas can live up to 30 years. That's a long time. That's like a spider that can remember and come back and get you later. Way later. I don't like it. All right. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Hundreds of years ago, only the wealthy wore underwear.
What if it was still that way? Yeah, I made the first 4 of these, and then it changes. We're on yesterday, and I just pictured plumbers, how much worse it could actually be.
Or the same.
That's true. All right.
Yeah. Okay. This one's interesting. A slug has 4 noses. I didn't know they even had one. Behind the times. All right. Research indicates plants grow healthier when they're stroked. So,
I've heard that before. You should love them up, hug them, touch them. I would think they wouldn't like the grease from our fingers, the oils.
And stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I know I talk to my plants a lot. They seem to like that. I go out and tell them how pretty they are.
Okay, until they answer.
Right. Well, I mean, they give me very beautiful tomatoes. So, is that an answer? Does that count?
You should thank them for that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Pain travels through the body at 350 feet per second, which it takes like 1/100th of a second for the pain to get from my toe to my head.
Yeah. It's and sometimes I don't believe that, because have you ever burned yourself and you didn't notice you were burning yourself for a little bit?
Right.
Like it takes long. Like it does not travel that fast in certain parts of your body.
It's like it deadens the nerve first. It's so fast that it's like psst, it kills that part. But I wanna know like where they found 350 feet of human body to to test that with.
Prove that.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
It's a tall individual. All right. During your lifetime, you grow at about 590 miles of hair.
590 miles of hair in a lifetime.
Wow.
I wish I would have stopped cutting it.
Oh, jeez. Rapunzel over here. You could make a rope from Maine to Washington. Jeez.
I could climb myself down the Empire State Building.
I'm making a bridge. Leave me alone. All right. Frosted Flakes mascot Tony the Tiger has a wife, a son, Tony Jr., and a daughter, Antoinette, all of whom were used in early advertisements.
You know what he said about them?
They're great.
Great. Sorry, too easy.
That's interesting, though. I might want to have to Google the images on that and see when that happened and when it stopped. Anyway, brain surgery is done while the patient is still awake. Since the brain has no nerves and no sensation, the patient is put to sleep while the skull is cut open, but then wakes up to see the operation completed.
Oh.
There's a tiny little spider right here.
Ew.
Can you see him?
I got an itch back there.
No, really. Anyway, okay.
You having fun with that?
I'm just going to keep an eye on him because he's moving a lot closer to my face, and I don't like that. All right.
I want to see the look on your face after the next one.
Cleopatra married 2 of her brothers. What?
Oh, that's just wrong.
That's, I guess, how they did it back then.
Ancient Egypt was messed up.
I think that's why, like, you have... This is Sparta. And like, anything,
Duh. All right.
Okay, there. A passionate kiss will burn up to 6.5 calories per minute.
That is not enough.
Steamy, sizzling.
Steamy.
I
think that's an old person kiss. Only 6.5 calories. I'm just saying, ladies, mine burn a lot more.
Oh. He's advertising now. Here we go. A turtle can breathe through its butt.
Oh, Just like politicians.
Oh, yeah.
No, man.
I wonder if it can talk through its butt the way they can.
Wow. All right.
All right, here's the last one. A person uses an average of 57 sheets of toilet paper per day.
Oh. Wow.
That's a lot.
I knew somebody who once had a horrible dad, excuse me. Sorry. I don't know why they said dog. That would only allow them to use 3 sheets at a time. Those were for the girls. That's horrible. 3 sheets? What are you going to... Definitely going to be washing your hands.
He clearly doesn't understand.
I hope. I sincerely hope. All right. Reasons Scott breaks up with girls. All the time. All right. So some of the best reasons that I've broken up with girls. She refused to eat anything besides chicken nuggets and French fries. Seems kind of wrong.
Seems like she's a little too young.
She didn't believe in the moon landing.
Not sure I do either. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Here's a girl that broke up with me, and her reason was, when I look at him, I really looked at him from a distance, and I realized his head was just way too big for his body.
Oh, goodness. Have you ever maybe this is just me and I'm going to make myself sound weird, but I don't care. So sometimes I drive down the road and I see someone and I'm like, I think you might be an alien. Just because they're disproportionate or weird looking in some way. I'm like, yep, alien. It's my answer.
It's way big. It's way too big.
Alien. It's my answer to everything.
I once broke up with a girl because she watched TV on the DVR and wouldn't fast forward through the commercials. Another one I broke up with because every time I yawned, she thought it was hilarious if she stuck her finger in my open mouth. Seriously.
Yeah, I've had people do that to me before, too. It's really, really disturbing. Kind of makes me want to kung fu fight them.
It's absolutely okay to break up with a woman if she eats her peas one at a time. One at a time. All right. How about another date that would constantly say the names of stores we pass by while driving? Oh, Jiffy Lube. Huh. Home Depot. Ooh, a Gymboree. I thought they were out of business.
Oh, my.
Another reason to break up with a girl, she uses the same deodorant as your mom.
Okay, I could see why that'd be an issue.
Yeah. She'd wait until she had the bartender's attention, then decide what she wanted. I've seen people do that. All right. She'd walk way too slow. We'd go somewhere and walk down the street, and I'd turn around, and she's like 20 feet behind me. Actually, the full story, she'd be 20 feet behind me, rummaging through the change machine.
You told me.
The little change slot. Yeah, it was crazy. What broke us up was when I blocked her like a football player. I did the arm block from getting to a payphone and ran to the payphone ahead of her and rummaged for change. It really hurt her feelings, and we never went out again. It's okay, though, because she walked like a T-Rex. You had to watch the camera for that one. And another reason I broke up with a girl once, because she pronounced it cold slaw. Cold slaw. Is that a coleslaw? Okay, sorry. Yeah. You get it, don't you, Michelle? A little bit?
I get it. I just don't understand why they would call it cold slaw.
Cold slaw.
It's even more difficult to say than coleslaw.
Yes.
Why would you? Okay.
All right, I got some fun ones here. I do this every now and then. I'll go on to Craigslist and do best of Craigslist.
Yes.
Have you ever done that?
No,
I love some of the stuff you find in there.
Sounds so much fun.
I know.
Do it.
Like the guy that turned his snowmobile into a tauntaun.
Oh.
Man. All right, bizarre Craigslist ads. First one, I want some orange juice. I'll give you $2 plus cost if you'll deliver me some orange juice with a receipt. I'm too lazy to get it myself. I live right by University Drive. Thank you. Seeking an adult drunk clown for a 30th birthday party. We need an adult drunk clown who's good at getting drunk and stupid. No need to do any clown tricks. Just hang out and drink a whole bunch. We'll be hopping around to different bars and want a clown to tag along and drink heavily. He doesn't even have to socialize with anyone. Just keep drinking.
Wow. It's like, here, we're going to kill your liver today and make you look stupid while we do it.
Here's one that says, I want a woman to sit in my bathtub full of noodles wearing a bathing suit. I'll pay you $1 to sit in my bathtub full of noodles while you wear a one-piece bathing suit. I will not be home, nor will anyone else while you do this. I will leave a key for you and will sit at your leisure. Do not bring any sauce. I will season the pasta after I return home prior to dinner.
Oh, my goodness. That is weird. That is
Here's another one. I have a huge bathroom. I'm a female in my mid-60s, and I'm looking for a roommate. Times are tight, and I need some extra money. I'm willing to rent out my bathroom in my one-bedroom East Village home. So she's got a one-bedroom. She wants to rent the bathroom. My bathroom is quite large. You can easily put a twin air mattress in there. I only ask that when I need to use the bathroom, you and your air mattress are not in it. I do ask that when you are in the apartment, you confine yourself to the bathroom. I do not feel comfortable with a stranger walking around my living room. This might change as I get to know you better.
Wow. Have we reached that much of an extreme of like housing crisis?
I think so. Quite possibly. Here's one for the ladies, okay? Looking for bridesmaids. So my fiance and I are getting married. He has 8 groomsmen lined up, and I only have 1 bridesmaid. So I need some girls who are attractive and around my age to stand up at my wedding. You can be single or taken. It doesn't matter. You just have to be hot, but not hotter than me.
Well, you gotta like
for more information.
You gotta love the candor on that one. That's good.
But not hotter than me.
That's funny.
It's cute. Last one, personal texting assistant. I get 40 to 50 texts per hour. I can't handle my workload plus texting responsibilities. My phone gets too full and needs deleted every couple hours. This is a full-time position, and you must be wherever I am at the time because my phone is always with me. Serious inquiries only. The only question I have is, how much does it pay?
Right.
Wow. So all you did all day was deal with somebody else's texts. All right. That's all the bits and breaks. And go ahead. We're going to do a little trivia between me and Michelle before we go to break. And I think this is a first, so we'll see how well we do.
All right.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
It's the GM versus the manager.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I have them answered immediately.
Do you have to lose if I tell you to?
Maybe, but I probably will try not to anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to cheat. That's all I'm saying.
Not either. How
right.
how are we going to do this?
All right. Do you want me to go first or you want to go first? I'll give you the option.
You go ahead and go first.
All right. My first trivia question for you, Michelle, is we like to think everyone's doing it more, but the average person only does it 3 times a day. What are they doing?
I like to think everybody does it. Wash their hands?
Exactly. That took you 0 time. Good job. Good job. All right.
Okay. Do I do the next one or do you want me to take the next category?
No, you go ahead and feed me one. I'm going to give you a round of applause for your quick answer, though. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Sometimes you want me to do today's?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes they're 27 feet across. Other times they're 36 feet. What are they?
Sometimes they're 27 feet across. Other times they're 36 feet. RVs. No, that's no. Across, so wide.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can't drive them.
Can't drive them. A pool.
Ooh, you're close. Kind of. It's in the sporting arena.
In a sporting arena.
It has to do with sports.
It's not a pool.
It's not a pool.
I don't know. A football field's way wider than that.
Yeah, think smaller.
Baseball?
No.
Lawn darts.
You're getting close. I think. Hold on. You have to watch the video to get this hint.
You're throwing something with your arm.
No.
No? I can't. You're sideways. I can't really tell. A basketball court?
No. Close.
I give up. Tennis court. Sometimes they're 27. Yeah, I would. No way I would have ever guessed that. And that was what you were doing with your arms was the serve? It's like the worst tennis serve I ever saw.
I'm short. I don't play tennis.
Can you see over the net?
No. Good thing I can see through it.
All right. Let's see what I got for Michelle. I accidentally closed my window. 85% of the land in Nevada has what in common?
Cactuses.
No, think of it. It's really
like the dirt itself.
A lot of nothing. I mean, there's portions of Nevada where you can drive like 6 hours and never see another car or anything. And you might even know of like what could I say? Some spooky things in Nevada. I don't want to throw you off track, but when you think about this 85% of land, Nevada's so barren. It all has this in common.
Is it like the structure of the dirt itself, like sand or clay or?
No, and I don't know how to give you a hint without giving it away. Let's see if anybody's. Yesterday we had a lot of people posted on Facebook. Oh, Mike says good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike Vance.
Maybe uninhabited or it's.
If it's uninhabited, who does it belong to?
Yeah, it's. I was gonna say it's reservation land, isn't it?
No,
oh.
No.
Belongs to the animals then?
U.S. government. 85% of Nevada owned by the U.S. government.
Because that's not suspicious.
No. There was. I have a buddy who was traveling through there, and he said he was on one of these lone highways, and he kept seeing this super bright light. And it was for hundreds of miles seeing this super bright light. When he finally got to it, he figured out and then Googled it. It is a test thing from the government, and they're using the sun to generate power. And the mirrors that they're putting it through is so bright. He said it looks like an arc welder. You can hardly even stare at it.
Wow.
And then he kept researching it because the curiosity got him after seeing it. And he said anything that flies into it instantly vaporized.
So they're using the sun to make a laser.
Yeah, basically, and generate power from it, which is cool. But yeah,
cool. But I'm kind of glad now that they don't let anyone live there, because that's crazy.
All right, what else you got for me?
Okay, each year, 120,000 pounds of peanut butter is used to make what?
Reese's peanut butter cups?
No.
Peanut butter used to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
They're cute. They're small. They show up on your doorstep.
They're cute. They're small. Like some kind of cookie for the Girl Scouts?
Yes, Girl Scout cookies.
All right. That's a lot of peanut butter.
Yeah.
All right. This one's kind of tough, especially because your age. So pay attention to the first word of this product. The Philco Predicta was the name given to the very first what? And Philco's like kind of a clue if you've ever heard that before. It's very old. It was a brand name. The Philco Predicta was the name given to the very first what?
Philco. I have no idea what Philco is.
One of their competitors was RCA.
Oh, okay. Predicta. So it was like a voice recorder, or?
That would be a good guess, but no, it was something in your living room.
Like a VCR?
Television set.
Okay.
Very first TV was called the Philco Predicta.
Oh.
Philco made a lot of radios before television came out, and they kind of just morphed right into TV.
I I see.
All right. Any other ones on your end?
Yeah.
Okay.
When it is time to order food, women are twice as likely as men to order one of these.
An entree.
This could be an entree, but what kind? It's actually quite specific, so
women
it's not really
like
very
salad.
Kind
Twice as
of.
likely to order a salad.
If
Bread.
it was flat and baked.
Flat and baked. And women are like pizza.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll give it to you. Vegetarian pizza.
Oh yeah, totally. I think vegetarian women far outweigh the vegetarian men.
Here's what I don't get about it though. Like honestly, I do a lot of like vegetable type things, and substitute out I don't hardly ever eat red meat anymore. I'm mostly fish anymore, but the bread on the pizza is gonna get me way worse than any meat that you put on it. So I kind of don't get the whole vegetarian pizza thing. I'm like, you're kind of cutting your own foot off there. I don't know.
I could totally go vegetarian if I could find someone that could cook it for me and to make it taste good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you like vegetables?
No.
That's not going to happen.
No. In fact, I do most of my vegetables in powdered form in drinks because I know I need them, but I don't like them. Yeah. I like the ones that are no good for you, like green beans and corn.
Green beans aren't good for you? I thought they had iron.
There's hardly any nutrition in green beans or corn, especially when you're getting them canned from the store.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe out of your garden a little bit more. All right. One more for you, Michelle. It's estimated that around the world, around 100,000 people each year go to the hospital emergency room after they've messed up while doing this, what would you call it, personal care activity. Probably happening in the bathroom.
Oh, goodness. Waxing?
Ouch, that just sounded painful.
Wow, yeah.
No, this is one that both men and women would do as like a personal care thing. It's something we're quite often told that you shouldn't do, and since 100,000 people end up in the hospital, that's probably why. What are they doing?
Cleaning your ears with Q-tips?
Yes, trying to clean their ear with Q-tip or some other foreign object. Have you ever seen anyone take a pen cap and stick it in their ear?
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Seems extremely dangerous.
And it's the inside of your ear is extremely tender. Like, my children are wonderful, and one of my children, instead of putting things up their nose as a child, would put things in his ear.
Ooh.
All the time. And so I was in the ENT with two of my children for probably the better of part of 8 years, pretty regularly. And so they have this little weird stick with like a loop thing on the end that's really, really small, like almost like a string, so it bends really easily because your inner ear is so unbelievably sensitive that if you even barely touch it, like you could put a hair in there and poke the side of your inner ear wall and it'll hurt. It's really crazy.
I'm deaf in one ear, so I've had lots of doctors do lots of experimenting in there, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, don't put stuff in your ears. Actually, one time, I don't know if I got bit by a spider or what, but I developed some kind of cyst right on the entrance to the ear. And it hurt so bad, and I couldn't get into the doctor, and I finally just broke off like a wooden Q-tip and went in there and punctured it.
Ouch. Oh.
And then when I got into the doctor, he said, "Oh my God, what did you do to your ear?" And I said, "It's the one that don't work anyways."
Oh my gosh.
He didn't find that as amusing as I did. All right, back to you. Anything else, Michelle?
All right, your turn to spy the lie.
Ooh, I never get these. Okay.
All right. Ohio is the birthplace of 10 United States presidents. Racers in the Indianapolis 500 make 200 laps. In 1621, the Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving lasted 3 days.
I'm going to say the first one's true. And I'm going to say, they call it the Indianapolis 500. I'm not into car racing, but wouldn't that mean they did 500 laps? So I'm going to say that's the lie.
It would seem like that would be how it should be, but it is not. So apparently the Indianapolis does make 200 laps.
That's so lame.
The Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving did last 3 days. And
no
actually, way. Ohio is the birthplace of 7 United States presidents, not 10. Virginia is the birthplace of 8 presidents.
Oh, all right. Then as a payback, I'm going to give you a brain buster.
Yes.
All right. When you need me, you throw me away. When you don't need me, you bring me back. What am I?
A Safeway bag.
No, this would have something to do with water.
When you need me, you throw me away. And when you don't need me, you bring me back.
You use it in the water.
I'm going to say, what? The fishing lure?
No, but you're really warm because you're in a boat.
An anchor.
Yes, there you go. I think you won, Michelle. Good job. We go to break, and when we come back, we're going to have birthdays throughout the weekend for folks in the city of Chihuahua. So stick around, and we'll have, of course, your odd news as we roll you into the weekend. It's a Friday morning show on Northern Lights Public Radio. It's Scott and Michelle on KCHW 102.7, and we are right back.
Listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW, Chihuahua, Colville, Kettle Falls.
Are you ready to make a difference in Chihuahua? New Health is hiring for several clinical positions in our Chihuahua Medical Clinic, including medical assistants and certified nursing assistants. With competitive salaries, benefits, and professional development opportunities, New Health will help you grow your career while providing quality health care to your local community. Learn more about the available positions and apply online at newhealth.org/careers. That's NEWHEALTH.org/careers. Or give us a call at 509-935-6001 to learn more. That's 509-935-6001. New Health, bringing healthcare into communities and communities into healthcare since 1978.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast, September the 16th, 2022. I'm Mike Clifford. Iowa's elections are safe and secure and have not been subject to widespread fraud. That's the message from a bipartisan group of election administrators around the state as disinformation concerns linger.
Secretary of State Paul Pate and his Auditors Advisory Group announced the campaign this week, noting a recent increase in the spread of false claims regarding elections in Iowa, despite no evidence to back those claims. Ringgold County Auditor Amanda Waskey says there's no reason to believe that the process is vulnerable.
We use paper ballots in Iowa. There's nothing connected to the internet. We do post-election audits after every single election, and that has come back accurate 100% every time.
A new activist group called Iowa Canvassing says it wants to clean up voter registration rolls, but the state stresses it conducts routine list maintenance. More broadly, disinformation was fueled by false claims from Donald Trump after the 2020 vote. I'm Mike Moen.
As part of the campaign, the Secretary of State's office has devoted a section of its website to election security. The Inflation Reduction Act has made a historic investment of $370 billion to fight climate change over the next decade. More in the story now from Danielle Smith.
Among its benefits, the act will provide tax credits for rural electric co-ops to move towards clean energy. Brianna Nicely is Tennessee's campaign manager for Appalachian Voices. She says the act significantly changes the economic landscape for Tennessee's public utilities or not-for-profit utilities to implement renewable energy and energy efficiency.
There are some new pots of funding for electric cooperatives to transition, and then also the direct pay tax credit for renewable energy has been extended to nonprofit entities, which means co-ops and municipal utilities can now access that tax credit.
Meanwhile, Nicely notes that access to the tax credits may be limited because of the barriers that the Tennessee Valley Authority has put in place.
And now from the New York Times, freight rail companies and unions representing tens of thousands of workers reached a tentative agreement to avoid what would have been an economically damaging strike, a relief for business and consumers, also a victory for President Biden. The Times reports a breakthrough on Thursday morning came just hours before a critical deadline that would have allowed workers to strike and had already begun affecting rail service across the U.S. This is PNS. After a devastating hailstorm in eastern Oregon, Eric Tegedoff reports community members are lending each other a helping hand.
In mid-August, a severe storm dropped hail the size of baseballs on the town of Wallowa. It damaged nearly every vehicle in the town of 800, smashed windows, and battered roofs. Stephen Cleaver is the pastor of Lustine First Presbyterian Church, which has congregants from nearby Wallowa.
I contacted everybody, made sure everybody was okay. What I found out was that people were highly traumatized. This was a traumatic event. It just shook people because it was so violent. I mean, we're talking 10 minutes, and it basically decimated the town.
He says luckily no one was seriously injured. After checking in with everyone he could, Cleaver headed an effort to raise money. He says so far they've raised $70,000 and handed out $500 vouchers.
The Inflation Reduction Act signed by President Joe Biden last month caps the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors who have Medicare.
According to the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy, the Mountain State's per capita prescription drug cost increases outpaced national averages every day between 2001 and 2014, faster than all other healthcare spending. Wood County resident Lisa Doyle Parsons says she's lost family members because of the high cost of doctor-prescribed medications.
I, at 55, have outlived 3 of my 5 brothers because they could not afford to have the medications they needed to keep them alive and to give them a quality of life.
Nadia Ramlagan reporting.
Finally, Tramel Gomes tells us environmental groups are calling on Georgia's Environmental Protection Division to reject permits to build a titanium mine near an intact freshwater wetland system. It's known as the Okefenokee Swamp. It extends into Florida.
Ultimately, Twin Pines Minerals Company successfully sued the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which dropped its federal protections of the swamp in a settlement. Christian Hunt with Defenders of Wildlife says he was shocked to see the Corps flip-flop, allowing the mining company to move forward with plans to mine on more than 500 acres at the edge of the largest U.S. National Wildlife Refuge east of the Mississippi, if it gets state approval.
We think this is an inappropriate neighbor. It's an inconsistent land use adjacent to this world-class wildlife refuge, and dozens of scientists have voiced such sentiments. So we're following the science in that regard.
This is Mike Clifford, and thank you for ending your week with Public News Service, member and listener supported, heard on interesting radio stations, your favorite podcast platform. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
Northern Lights Public Radio is 102.7 KCHW, Chewelah, Deer Park, Colville.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County. And we're back. It's KCHW 102.7. Looking at excuse me. I can't get my times right. 8:26. It's like I always have to subtract that 3 hours. But you know what? I get to sleep in every day. Sorry, Michelle.
You're welcome.
All right. We start off this segment. We do it with local birthdays. Did you happen to fish out that calendar? I see you looking around like you might be a little lost. I can start off with celebrity birthdays.
Yeah, you better. I have to look to see where it got put.
All right. Susan Ratton from L.A. Law turns 74 today. Ed Begley Jr., you might remember him from St. Elsewhere. Also the show Living with Ed, probably the most recent thing he did. He's 73. Mickey Rourke, the wrestler, and Iron Man 2. He was the bad guy. I had once had one of my daughter's friends, boyfriend, so when she was in high school, tell her that he was scared of me because I looked like the bad guy from Iron Man 2, and I really made me sad because Mickey Rourke is just horrible looking. All right, TV weatherman Mark McEwen, 68. Illusionist David Copperfield turning 66. Jennifer Tilley, 64. Richard Marx, who has a brand new song out, which we are playing on KCHW, has turning 59. Haven't heard from Richard Marx in a long time. But you know what? He writes all the hit records for the boy bands. Seriously, he does. All right, Molly Shannon, funny lady, used to be on Saturday Night Live years ago. She's turning 58. Another one, Amy Poehler from Parks and Recreation, 51. Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls, 41. Bailey DeYoung, excuse me, I'm choking, 33. And Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers turning a mere 30 today. Here comes Michelle. I think she's got those local birthdays through the weekend.
I do. You know, I have to say that this last week has been pretty stacked with birthdays.
It has.
Yesterday was crazy. I heard Alan. I could almost hear his eyes grow wide over the radio when he was.
It was like he was giving the roster off a football team or something.
All right. Well, not quite as many today, but just about. We have happy birthday to Susan Burmeister, Adam Gray, Steve Deal, Elisha Martin, and happy anniversary to Cliff and Sherry Hoagland. Happy birthday tomorrow, September 17th, to Blaze Smith and Jim Culverwell and Eric Chalmers. Happy birthday on Sunday, the 18th, to Madeline Barlocker, Robbie Bendixson, Justin Danford, and happy anniversary to Stephen Carmen Deal. And Monday, September 19th, happy birthday to Easton Peters, Everett Peters, and happy anniversary to David and Deborah Poto.
All right, there you go. Big, long list, and happy birthdays, anniversaries all the way around. If you see them around town, point and laugh. Tell them we were talking about them on the radio. All right, on to a little bit of history for today, Michelle. It happened today.
Yes, it did happen today. 1620, 102 passengers and crew set sail from Plymouth, England, for the New World on the Mayflower. Oh, well, that's an important day. 1630, the Massachusetts village of Shawmut changed its name to Boston. All right. 1840, the term OK was created when the OK Club was organized as a new democratic political group. The initials stood for the birthplace of President Martin Van Buren, Old Kinderhook, New York. Okay. 1955, Play-Doh was introduced.
The unmistakable smell of Play-Doh.
Still kind of smells that way when you make it at home, too.
And there's nothing else that smells like it, though. It's just kind of weird.
I don't recommend tasting it. either.
Oh, bummer. It looks so colorful. Like it'd be delicious.
And mashed potatoes don't taste like taters. All right. 1988. Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy became the first a cappella record to reach #1 on U.S. rock music charts. That's kind of cool.
Oh.
2003. Is that Steve Swayze?
Swayze? Huh?
I don't know. Was asleep on his houseboat on a lake near Shelbyville, Kentucky, when 2 burglars tried to break in. When he took the 2 men by surprise, there was only one place for them to go, into the lake. It wasn't a clean getaway, however. One guy couldn't swim, and his accomplice never looked back. Swimming into a waiting car in his escape, Sweezy threw the drowning man a life ring and held him for the police.
Well, that was nice of him. Yeah. Can't swim, eh? I'd be scratching my head. Do I want to help?
Right? How bad do you want out of the water?
Oh, one from Florida. This is going to be bad.
Yes. 2006, a Florida man trying to cure his 10-year-old daughter's fear of heights by jumping from a bridge with her broke his leg in the fall. Have some trauma. Troy and Megan Stewart jumped 15 feet from a bridge in Lantana, Florida, into the intracoastal waterway, but the water was only 18 inches deep. Megan was not injured, but her dad broke his leg in what the police described as an example of what not to do as a parent. Or a human being if you want to walk. That's the... I'm not, yeah. Okay. 2013.
Skip it.
Yeah. 2018. Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes sent an NFL record of 10 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of a season. All right. Wow. Yeah.
All right. Special events for today. Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. Does not excite me. Collect Rocks Day. I've got a fair collection of rocks from places I've been. I actually have one from the Copper King mine in Chihuahua. And some people might know this. It's a mine you can still get into, but you have to walk over like a 12 by 12 wood plank before you can get into the mine, and it's over a pit of jagged rocks, which is kind of scary. Yeah. But once you get in there, when they cut the mine, there was a huge tree that went right through the first passage, and they cut right through that petrified tree. And I actually have a piece of rock from that petrified tree. It didn't look sharp, but as I cut myself with it, it was very, very sharp. And then I worried for about 3 days that I may have contracted some kind of, cave fungus.
Mm-hmm. Did it start to turn blue and oxidize?
It didn't, but I was really worried that I perhaps maybe had some, cave fungus. Oh, that didn't work at all. A little too much volume. Sorry, folks. All right. It's Concussion Awareness Day. Yeah, I should have been aware. A National Day of Prayer and Remembrance for victims of Hurricane Katrina. Very nice. Get yourself some guacamole day. National POWMIA Recognition Day. Stay away from Seattle Day. And I've heard if you go on a vacation to Seattle, it's pretty depressing now. Tattoo Story Day, Step Family Day, Trail of Tears Commemoration Day for Native Americans, Working Parents Day, World Play-Doh Day, and a Wrinkled Old Raincoat Day. Put it on, you'll look cool. All right, let's see. Should we go through the days for the weekends? Because there's some other ones that might be kind of fun. Saturday is Batman Day. It's also Big Whopper Liar Day, so tell a big old lie for Saturday. Constitution and Citizenship Day, International Coastal Cleanup Day. That's a good day if you live by an ocean to grab a bag and go walk out and pick up some trash. Eat an Apple Day, Locate an Old Friend Day, Apple Dumpling Day, Dance Day, Gymnastics Day, Professional House Cleaners Day. I didn't even know they had a day for that. And if you're a professional house cleaner, please come celebrate at my house.
Mm-hmm. They deserve a day.
Yeah. Responsible Dog Owner Day and Thank a Police Officer Day on Saturday. All right. For Sunday, it's First Love Day. Do you remember your first love, Michelle?
Yeah, I do.
Mine was a dog.
Oh, mine, I can, yeah.
Was a dog?
No, well, I mean, that's debatable. Now, I remember being 7 years old and being absolutely in love with Bon Jovi.
Oh, I think my first love was nacho cheese Doritos.
Oh,
yeah. International Equal Pay Day, Back to Church Day, Cheeseburger Day. Also on Sunday, HIV/AIDS and Aging Awareness Day, Wife Appreciation Day. You know, we don't do that enough, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
And if you don't appreciate your wife, someone else will.
That's frightening.
You're supposed to laugh at that, Michelle. And Rice Krispies Treats Day.
Now, I'm fairly confident that my husband is the only man on the planet that can handle my tenacity.
Wife Appreciation Day. How about the number of the day if you were following along?
Yes, 13 million. And no, it is not the numbers of stars in the sky. It is subscribers to the streaming service Peacock. Hulu has about 46 million. Netflix has 221 million globally.
Wow. So they're, even though they've had their share of problems and they're still the biggest, it looks like. That's crazy. I'm actually surprised that Peacock has 13 million because I downloaded the free version and found absolutely nothing to watch. Speaking of absolutely nothing to watch, I'm so tired of doing the weekends movies. I mean, I'm sick of it. I like to go to the movies. I'm thrilled that we can go back to the movie theaters, and they won't play anything that's a blockbuster. It seems like they're so far and few between since you get something, because that's the only thing I'll pay money for. It's got to have lots of special effects and explosions if I'm going to spend the money at the theater to see it.
You know, it might make you feel better if you go back and like look up whatever they were playing this day 5 years ago.
Probably. And then go rent it and set really close to my TV.
Yeah. And just be like, so 5 years ago, they were playing good movies. This is what they were.
It's crazy, the stuff they're putting out. It's like, you know, homemade stuff or something. Yeah. We're showing home movies at the Cinemax this weekend. All right, to Moon Age Dream. This is in IMAX only, and go ahead and serve this one up. Cinematic Odyssey exploring David Bowie's creative and musical journey from visionary filmmaker Brett Morgan and sanctioned by the Bowie Estate. So that's your one to catch this weekend, and my choice, Moon Age Dream with David Bowie. Also in theaters and on IMAX, The Woman King, a historical epic that is based in alternate history. Y4 of the Kingdom of Dahomey in one of the most powerful states of Africa in the 18th and 19th centuries. If you're a history buff, you might enjoy that. The American Dream and other fairy tales. This is basically a documentary as Abigail Disney looks at America's dysfunctional and unequal economy and asks why the American dream has worked for the wealthy, yet is a nightmare for the rest of us. Yeah. Excuse me. I gave up on the American dream and a white picket fence a long time ago.
Yeah, you got to build your own fence these days.
All right, another movie, Blonde, in theaters is a fictionalized chronicle of the inner life of Marilyn Monroe, which we probably don't need. Pearl, I never saw the movie X. Did you? Have you ever heard of it before?
No.
I'm not talking about Malcolm X.
No.
I'm guessing it was some kind of horror movie. Pearl is in theaters this weekend. It is the story of how Pearl became the vicious killer as seen in the movie X. All right. Riotsville, USA. Welcome to Riotsville, a fictional town built by the U.S. military. Using all archival footage, the film explores the militarization of the police and creates a counter-narrative to the nation's reaction to the uprisings of the late 60s. Again, is this really fit for a movie theater? Just saying.
That sounds really terrible. Like the whole idea behind it is like
it's this, like, yeah, who's picking these?
This is where conspiracy theories come from. Like, stop doing that.
Oh yeah, another one. See How They Run in the West End of 1950s London. Plans for a movie version of a smash hit play that come to an abrupt halt after a pivotal member of the crew is murdered. See How They Run. So set
like
in the 1950s.
Like the blind mice?
Yes. All right. Here's another one. Take a Pillow. It's the Silent Twins, based on the lives of June and Jennifer Gibbons, real-life identical twins who grew up in Wales and became known as the Silent Twins because of the refusal to communicate with anyone other than each other. This is what the movie sounds like. Yep. Enjoy. So you can see we haven't found much to watch yet. Confess Fletch. After becoming the prime suspect in multiple murders, Fletch strives to prove his innocent while simultaneously searching for his fiance's stolen art collection. Way to twist the plot there. Yeah, and then one for teens who get bullied, Do Revenge. Dre and Eleanor agree to go after one another's bullies, and I bet you it's probably violent, so not a good thing to let your kids watch.
Right.
Drifting Home follows two childhood friends who drift into a mysterious sea with an entire housing complex. That's on Netflix, so at least you don't got to go to the theater and pay money for that. All right. God's Country. When a college professor confronts two hunters she catches trespassing on her property, she's drawn into an escalating battle of wills with catastrophic consequences. There is your action movie, hopefully. Yeah. All right. Good Night, Mommy. Twin brothers arrive at their mom's house and begin to suspect that something isn't right. It's a remake of a 2014 Austrian film that you've never seen. And to get used to be famous, Netflix, this is where this one is, follows Vince, a desperate former pop star who dreams of making a comeback. An impromptu jam session with autistic young drummer Steve sparks an unexpected friendship between the two misunderstood musicians. Just watch some Britney Spears documentary. You'll be covered. Wow. All right, that is your movie lowdown from Scott, the Angry Critic. There you go.
So, did you do a thing when that movie Moonfall came out? Do you remember that?
I did not.
Oh, well, I just watched that one recently on streaming, and it was
disjointed.
It was good. It was good, like as a sci-fi kind of thing, but I mean, it was a little bit clunky in some parts.
Yes.
Like, like some of the dialogue could have been better to, like really formulate the plot more smoothly. But all in all, I think of the ones that are coming out today, it was pretty good.
You can watch it, I believe, on HBO Max. It's either HBO Max or Prime is showing it for free. Mm-hmm. So I was really mad that a few months ago I paid for it. But what surprised me about that film, one of the theory is the moon's going to crash into Earth, but the moon is actually a Dyson sphere. Mm-hmm. But the problem, I thought, it's Roland Emmerich who did The Day After Tomorrow, which was a fabulous, fun movie. And it's kind of done in that style, but I don't think, like you said, it quite hits the mark.
Yeah. So that guy must really think that the end of the world is imminent.
Yeah. If you stick with something that makes you lots of money, chances are you're going to go back and try it again, right?
Right.
And that's what he's done here, with less of a good effect, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to wrap up today's show with a little odd news?
Yes, let's do it.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
We start off with the news attack for today, where the first part's a true statement and the second part's a big fat lie. And Michelle, first one, super fun.
Yeah.
All you.
Did you see my face when I read it?
Yes.
Oh, boy. All right. In Venezuela, a man was mistaken for dead until they began to perform an autopsy. Yeesh. Really? Oh, my gosh. Okay. I wish I had a dime for every time I woke up naked on a marble slab with a guy standing over me with a knife.
It sounds like a problem, Michelle.
I know. I got to change my hobbies.
Joe Biden's approval rating is up. So is his cholesterol.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He's more popular than Donald Trump ever was, but less popular than pumpkin spice latte.
Still have never had one of those.
Just doesn't seem right, does it?
You know, it's funny because like we're entering what I call the white girl Han Solo season.
Yeah.
You know, where everyone's wearing the Ugg boots and the puffy vest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and drinking a pumpkin spice latte, which you can smell from quite a ways away.
Yes.
And that is why I've never drank one.
Right. I haven't either.
Mhm.
All right. Well, a number of NFL matchups this season have ticket prices in the hundreds of dollars. Some games can be seen in person for as little as $30, $35, or $40. Still too high. For that kind of money, I want explosions and wild animals on the field.
Exactly. Come on.
I agree.
Oh, did you hear? It's pumpkin spice season time.
Yeah.
Yeah, pumpkin spice latte season time. I don't drink them. I just use them as a reminder to put snow tires on the lawnmower.
Yes. Like it. Survey says a third of us would give up alcohol to never do housework again. See, I'm the opposite. I find alcohol makes the housework enjoyable.
So this here, and this goes over here.
And you stop talking back to me, Mr. Toaster.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
All right, potentially devastating rail strike has been averted, which may not mean much to the average American until they realize that 80% of the nation's pumpkin spice is shipped by trains.
Yeah. I know it. Let them go on strike.
Does the pumpkin spice plant look like a pumpkin?
How much does it weigh? All right. A study found that men who move their bodies a certain way on the dance floor are more likely to attract women. Just follow Elvis. Let's be clear. By a certain way, they don't mean that the dudes who are attracting women are doing the sprinkler.
Bonus if you're watching online. I should have got up out of my chair and did the sprinkler, right?
Yeah.
All right. Researchers show that a high-fat diet changes the brain, making you want to eat even more. That explains why when I eat a cheeseburger, it makes me want French fries, which make me want a milkshake, which makes me wonder why I only ordered one cheeseburger. Because that's my favorite line when I eat a cheeseburger. I look at the person who brought it to me or ate with me, and I say, that tasted like another one. They do. That's right. On to the world of wacky but true. We don't add anything to these stories because, well, they were just dumb enough the way they were. And to kick it off, it's Michelle.
Yay! A man in Poland who robbed a gas station made off with food, drinks, and cigarettes. What he didn't steal was gas. Police arrested him after finding him stranded by the side of the road with his vehicle out of fuel.
Oh. Which prompts me to always say...
Suck gas, evildoers.
That's right. Should have been doing a little of that. Would have helped. Another robber here. We got a lot of them today. Guy in Turkey broke into a bank to steal from an ATM in the lobby, was found fast asleep on the floor by the janitor. Janitor stumbled over the suspect 2 hours before opening and called in police, who showed up just in time to watch a man stagger out the front door of the building all sweepy. Aww. All right.
Wow.
Let's go live to the scene. Yeah.
Well, it's official. I'm never sleeping again. Ever.
It's because you're going to be in jail.
I keep one eye open.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. Aggressive owl in Washington. Check it out. Michelle.
Let's bring it back home. And SeaTac Washington is warning people about a very aggressive owl at a park and offered some unique ways for people to protect themselves from the bird while in the area. The owl was spotted at North SeaTac Park, and a sign posted and tweeted by the city said park goers should use caution or avoid the area until the owl moves on. The sign also said, if you must walk past a nest, wave your arms slowly overhead to keep the birds at a distance. Other protective actions include wearing a hat or helmet, carrying an umbrella. The angry bird is likely a barred or great horned owl, two most common types of owls in the area. So, yes, I thought they were going to say wave your arms slowly by your side, so maybe you would think you were one of the owls.
I was doing hand signs the whole time and giving descriptions as you were voicing that. So another bonus for online viewers. All right. I wonder if has he bit anybody? Does it say? Has he actually bitten?
It doesn't say.
Oh, let's check it out.
Honey, you never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
The great horned owl.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Coming in from above. Scary. All right. I got a long one. Wow. It's right up my alley, though. 65-year-old man from Saudi Arabia recently became famous after it was revealed that he married no less than 53 different women. He was searching for emotional stability. Abdullah married his first wife when he was 20 years old. She was 6 years his senior. What? And for a short time, she was all he needed. They had children together and everything was going well, but then problems started appearing in his life and he decided to marry again. At the age of 23, he informed his wife that he planned to take a second wife and became a polygamist. Then as problems started arising with his two spouses, he took on a third. What's this guy thinking? Then a fourth. However, things only got worse, so he divorced his first and second wives and then did the same with the third and fourth wives. But his quest for stability continued. 65-year-old man says that he has so far married a total of 53 women, with his shortest marriage only one night. However, he insisted that none of them was a joke. They were all traditional weddings. Apparently, all he was trying to do was find a woman that would make him happy, but he wasn't happy with himself first.
Right.
His marriages kept failing, although he didn't reveal whether he finally found the one out of 53. Abdullah said that he is now married to one woman and does not ever plan to marry again. But then, of course, he is 65. All right. Rule of thumb to follow, boys.
2 wives and 2 sweethearts.
Wives and sweethearts. They never meet.
Oops. You didn't like that at all, did you, Michelle? Huh. And probably most women didn't. Well, last story's all yours then.
All right. Policemen in Germany were called out to a gas station by a man who had tripped and lost his teeth on his way to the bathroom. No, they didn't get knocked out of his head. They were falsies. Officers were able to help the old guy who they found crawling around on the area on all fours and use their flashlights to help him retrieve the dentures.
So he's at a gas station, which you probably drove to, and he's obviously blind.
Right. Well, I mean, it seems like it's dark, maybe, and he tripped on his. He did trip on the way to the bathroom, so I mean. Maybe
this doesn't sound good at all. No.
He's odd, I grant you. It's not that. It's his excessive consumption of mushrooms. They've addled his brain and yellowed his teeth.
Too many mushrooms.
It's great. At least
all right, that wraps up our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it.
But this whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget, this weekend, you have got, what is it today in the park? 11 to 3:30, right?
Yes. Farmer's Market.
Yes, our delicious farmer's market. And then tomorrow from 8 to 5, Romp and Roar at the golf course. And then what happens in the afternoon, Michelle?
From 1 to 4 at the Center for the Arts is the Film Festival with all of the people from the film industry coming up to talk about how you can get involved with the growing sensation of film coming to the Pacific Northwest, which I think is really cool.
There you go. All right. Thank you for all your hard work, Michelle. You are just little 2 weeks away from our fall festival, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a walking heart attack.
All right, you're going crazy?
A little bit.
All right. Well, you can always use that community calendar to shout out for help and volunteers.
Right. Yes,
All right.
that's a great idea.
All right. Everybody have a great weekend. It's going to be mild finally, and hopefully smoke's still thin today. I forgot to ask you.
Yes, it's so much better today. You know, honestly, since we had the rain, it's been pretty cloudy, so things have stayed relatively cool, and everything's still pretty damp and wet for the most part, especially up in the higher elevations like where I'm at. Everything's still pretty wet. and it has cleared up the air considerably. Today is probably the best day that we've seen in like almost a week.
Good.
So,
all right. Enjoy your weekend. Keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. Leave you with this.
This concludes the broadcast from World Control.